From Maleficent to Hades to Pete to Jafar to the Headless Horseman to Mortimer Mouse to the B-Gang. Hey, there's a bunch of villains I want to see in the future of Kingdom Hearts. And I'm not just talking about new villains. I actually want to see old villains return in the future. Now, it doesn't have to be Kingdom Hearts 4, but in either a spin-off game or in another number title. I know not all of those villains I have here will make it to the future of Kingdom Hearts. I'm pretty sure it, but some of them I think have really good chance. And I'm gonna rank some of them on what chance I have, or not exactly a ranking, but I'm gonna give each of them a number of how much likely there are for them to show up in the future of Kingdom Hearts. And with that out of the way, let's get started. And before I forget to mention this, it will only be Disney and Pixar villains. There will be no Marvel villains, and there will be no Star Wars villains. So keep that in mind. Now let's start with the B-Gang, and I'm gonna be honest with you, the only reason why I want to see them in the future of Kingdom Hearts is because Scrooge McDuck have already been introduced in Kingdom Hearts. And don't forget his nephews. The 3 of them has been introduced as well. Seeing those 3 just a little bit wish I have. Maybe they can be a mini boss in a maybe Scrooge McDuck world or something. I don't know, but I don't think they're gonna have a big role. I don't think the 3 of them should join up with Maleficent. And I'm gonna talk more about her later. As for ranking, I give this one a 1. I really don't think that's that much chance for it to be in the future of Kingdom Hearts. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it happening. And 1 is the lowest of rankings in this video. So the B-Gang joining the future of Kingdom Hearts? Unlikely for now. Coming up next is Bill Cipher from Oliver and Company. Now, I'm gonna say it right away. I do think there is a little bit chance that he might show up, but I don't think it's a big chance. The only reason why I want to see him is because I want to see the role of Oliver and Company in the future of Kingdom Hearts. Having him as an antagonist in that world, maybe not the final boss since he's just a human, but having him be one of the antagonists is something I would like. I like him as a villain. I think he can be done great, but again, I'm not sure how likely it is, so his ranking is a number 3. The next villain I want to talk about is Chick from Cars. Now, I'm not sure how likely this character is to show up in the future Kingdom Hearts. It would depend if his world is showing up in Kingdom Hearts, maybe a spin-off or a number title. I don't know, but I don't know how likely. If I see him in Kingdom Hearts, his world would be something I would be most excited for. Maybe get to race him a few times, maybe be a boss battle. I don't know, but his ranking is a number 4 because I have no idea if they're gonna introduce this world or just having Lightning McQueen be a something. Isma from Emperor's New Groove is one of the characters I think will happen eventually. I do think she will sooner or later show up in Kingdom Hearts universe. Now, I'm not sure if she's gonna show up in Kingdom Hearts 4. I don't think that's going to happen, but she will either show up in a spin-off game, I think that is the most likely, or she will have a small role in a number title. And yes, I say small role, I don't think Yzma is gonna be teaming up with Maleficent. Maybe she meets Maleficent, but nothing more than that. As for likelihood of why I think she'll show up, I'm gonna give her a 5. I'm not gonna talk too much about this character. I'm not the biggest fan of her, but I do think she can be used well in Kingdom Hearts. Hades has technically already been confirmed for Kingdom Hearts 4, and I think he will show up even more in the future. Again, he's Hades. We all know him, and not gonna talk more about him. Another group of characters I would like to see in the future of Kingdom Hearts is the Fates. We have already seen some of the gods. Why not see more of the villains of Headless? The Fate could be interesting boss battles, but I think there will be more if they have some smaller role. Maybe advisors to Hades, giving him some advice, Sora meeting up and then talking with them, but nothing more than that. As for likelihood, I'm gonna give those a 1. I don't think we will see the face in Kingdom Hearts. There might be a small glimmer of possibility, but I'm not really sure how much that possibility really stands. So I'm gonna give them a 1. The next villain I wanna talk about is the Horn King. Now, I think it's only a matter of time until we see this character in Kingdom Hearts. I'm not sure if he's gonna show up in Kingdom Hearts 4, but I do believe we will see him in one of the number titles. He is one of the most scary Disney villains, and that in itself is something that I think a lot of people will want to see in a number title. I also feel like he's one of the more popular villains. I know there's a lot of popular villains, and there are lots who would rank higher than him. But if I were gonna make a top 20 Disney villain, he would definitely be at 15 or 14. I'm not quite sure which one. I do think the Horn King is a great villain. I do believe we will see him in the future of Kingdom Hearts. Again, I don't know if he's gonna be in Kingdom Hearts 4 or later on, but I'm certain he will show up. As for ranking, I'm gonna give this character 7. I do believe we will see him eventually in Kingdom Hearts. I do believe he will show up in a number title, but again, I don't know when. I do think there is a small possibility that he might not show up in Kingdom Hearts, but remembering how much I like the Black Cauldron movie, how I think the character is already pretty favorable. I see lots of potential with him. I do think that Square Enix and Tetsuya Nomura do as well, so I think it's a good likelihood for him to be in Kingdom Hearts future, and that's why I give him this ranking as 7. The next character I want to talk about is the Headless Horseman. I think it might be small possibility, but I'm not sure. I like the story of the Headless Horseman in most of the movies, shows, and cartoons that I watch. As I said, there is a small possibility, but if he's gonna be in Kingdom Hearts future, I can see him be more of a heartless and not really be a character like Maleficent that has his own lines and so on. seeing him being some sort of a heartless boss will be good as well. I do think I will like it a lot if I see it, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. As for ranking, I'm gonna give the Headless Horseman a 3rd. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. I really would like to fight him as a Heartless in Kingdom Hearts, but I'm not sure. And I think 3 is the appropriate number to rank this character. One of the returning villains I want to see the most is Jafar. Now, unfortunately, I don't think this is likely. It might be a 3% chance of it happening, but I don't see it that likely. He might show up in spin-off titles in mobile game or something, but as for a number title, I don't see him returning. But Jafar is one of my favorite Disney villains, and I feel like it's a shame you haven't been able to use him more in Kingdom Hearts, and giving him a bigger role, having him work more with Maleficent. I think he could have been much better. As I said earlier, I think it's only a 3% chance. I don't see him returning and having a big role. If he's gonna return, I most likely think we will see him in mobile games. But I don't see him in any spin-off title except from that, or him being in another number title. He might be mentioned, but nothing more than that. And yet another returning character that showed up in Dream Drop Distant, Judge Frolo. Now, I actually think it's a bigger possibility for him to return than Jafar, because he was in a sleeping world that Sora have to wake. So I think it is a bigger possibility for him to return than Jafar. Would I like him to return? Yes. I do like the character. Will I be overly hyped for it? No. Because again, even though I like the character, I'm not that big fan of him in Kingdom Hearts. I don't care if he's gonna return or not. I would prefer him returning for a small role, but not being a big ally of Maleficent. So again, return or not, who knows, but again, I would like it. As for ranking, I'm gonna give him a 5. I said that I do believe that there's bigger chance for him to return than Jafar. I didn't say it was a big chance. So again, number 5 is what I think. Next one I want to talk about is Madame Medusa. Now, if she show up, then I do believe she will bring her 2 pet crocodiles with her as well. Now, again, I'm not over a big fan of this character. I will actually just wanted to show up so I could smack her around with the keyblade. I want to have a small boss battle with her, and that is all. I don't want her to be a big character. I don't want her to team up with Maleficent. I just want a chance to fight this character. And that's the only reason she and her crocodiles is on this list. Do I even have to explain this one? I think it's 100% clear that Maleficent will be a part of Kingdom Hearts 4. I do believe she will continue being the main Disney antagonist for most of Kingdom Hearts and its future. Now, she is one of my favorite Disney villains of the Kingdom Hearts universe as well, so that's only making me more happy to see that she probably going to be in more of the games, more of the future, and so on. And that's why this character must be a number 10. I really think she's gonna be in the future of Kingdom Hearts. It's almost confirmed without them confirming it. The next character I want to talk about is Madame Min. Now, I'm gonna say it honestly, this character I will just have her join Maleficent as a comic relief. I mean, maybe a few boss battles with her, she's probably gonna summon some Heartless, but I do not see her role being more than Maleficent lucky, to be honest. I'm not too big fan of her. Again, most of the reason why I want her in the future of Kingdom Hearts is because what I mentioned right earlier, being one of Maleficent henchmen. As for ranking, I'm gonna give her a 6. I think it is a great possibility. Not the biggest of possibilities, but I think there is a good likelihood that she will show up in Kingdom Hearts future eventually. Most because I already seen Merlin in a few of the games, which we all have. I think you don't introduce Merlin in Kingdom Hearts and not introduce this character as well. That's just how I see it. The next character I want to talk about is Mordu. Now, I do believe this one will happen because I do believe that the world of the brave will be in Kingdom Hearts 4. I do actually think it will be in Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm certain of it. It hasn't been confirmed, but consider how popular that movie was. I've seen the movie, it's a good movie. I think it will be a big likelihood for it to show up in Kingdom Hearts 4. Again, I can be wrong. I have no idea. And seeing Mordu being a boss battle in that world would be awesome. I'm not too big or a fan of the character, but I would like to want to fight her in Kingdom Hearts because I think it can be an interesting boss battle. As for ranking, I'm giving it a 8. I think it's a good possibility that it will show up. I do believe that it's really big possibility for Mordu to show up in Kingdom Hearts 4, but then again, I can be wrong. You know what's interesting? That throughout the Kingdom Hearts universe and games, we have barely seen anything of one of Mickey Mouse's greatest rivals. And I'm talking about Mortimer Mouse. I know that he's not technically an evil character, more like a selfish jerk, but that could be rewritten to make him more evil in Kingdom Hearts. I do want to see one of Mickey Mouse's greatest enemy teaming up with Maleficent. Then both Mortimer and Pete will be joining forces against Mickey and Sora. He could even be another Keyblade wielder. To be honest, that would be awesome in my opinion. I really want to see this happening. I really think it is a possibility for him to show up in the future. And the whole ranking of how likely he will show up will come right now. As for ranking, I'm gonna give this one a 6. I don't think it's likely to see him in Kingdom Hearts 4, but I do think it is likely for him to show up at some point in the future of the series. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I do think it is a possibility. But then again, I'm not overlooking the chance that it might not happen as well. So again, I'm taking this one with a grain of salt. I do hope for to see more Mickey Mouse enemies in Kingdom Hearts. But again, who knows, maybe Pete is and that other one is all we get. The two next characters I want to talk about is Prince John and Sir Hayes. Now, I do want the Sheriff of Nottingham to show up as well, but let's say he doesn't and we only get those two. Of course, we will get the Sheriffs as well, but I really do think that Prince John will be a character I much more want to hit in the head than the sheriff. The sheriff is corrupt and an asshole, but technically he's just doing his job. So I will most likely fight Prince John. He will not be the final boss of that world. He will most likely be a weak boss. Maybe his snake can help in a bit, but again, I'm not overly hyped for those two. I do think I would like to see them in the future of Kingdom Hearts, but they're not on my top 10. As for ranking, I've given them a 7. I do think they will show up alongside the sheriff in the future of Kingdom Hearts. I don't know when, but I think it's likely. And that's why I think 7 is a good ranking. It's not set in stone, I can be wrong, but I do see a great possibility for it to happen. The next character I want to talk about is Professor Ratigan from the Great Mouse Detective. Now I'm gonna say it right away, this villain is one that I think has a lot of potential to show up in Kingdom Hearts, and I think it can be a really interesting boss battle. I always liked the Great Mouse Detective as a movie, and that mostly is because of this main villain of that movie. Professor Ratigan is intelligent, he's cruel, he's evil, and I think he can be a really great threat to Sora and the gang, with Sora always having to outsmart him. Now, do I think he will show up in Kingdom Hearts 4? I don't think so. I think he will show up in a later game, but I do think there is high possibility for him to show up. As for ranking, I'm giving this one a 9. I know what you're gonna say. 9? Is it that likely that he show up? And I'm gonna say, in my opinion, it is. The Great Mouse Detective was a great movie. I think it has a great potential for Kingdom Hearts. And again, I don't think it will show up in Kingdom Hearts 4. Maybe the number title after it or in a spin-off game. But I do think it will happen. And I think 9 is a great number for it, because I do think it's really highly that is going to happen. If it was already confirmed, I will put a 10 on it. Then we have one returning villain and one new villain for Kingdom Hearts future, and that is Dr. Hamster Wheel and Captain Gantu. I do think it's likely for both of them to show up, but I think if one of them gonna show up, and looking at you, Gantu, I think he will most likely working for Dr. Hamster Wheel. And we already have the ship in Lilo Stitch in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, so it will be great to see Hawaii in the future of Kingdom Hearts. Again, I'm not sure if it's gonna show up in Kingdom Hearts 4, but I think it's likely that they will show up eventually. Give the two of them one more shot, or at least give one of them one more shot, and the other give him a new shot. Again, both of them, in my opinion, is great character. I think it will be a shame not to see them being used in Kingdom Hearts. And I think Captain Gantu deserves a second shot as a villain in Kingdom Hearts. The last character I want to focus on this video is DrFacilier from Princess and the Frog. He is one of my favorite Disney villains, especially one of my favorite modern Disney villains. The actor did a great job with him, and the writers know what they did with him, and using him in Kingdom Hearts will be a great. I also think it's really highly that he will show up eventually. I have a feeling he might show up in Kingdom Hearts 4, but I'm not gonna say he will, but I can say there's a 99% chance that he might show up in Kingdom Hearts at some point. Having DrFacilier as a villain will make for a really interesting boss battle, where you have to fight him and maybe his shadows as well. It can be great, it can be awesome. I really wanna smack him in the head. As for ranking, I'm giving him a 9. I do think we will see DrFacilier eventually in the future of Kingdom Hearts. I don't know when. There is a small chance that he might not show up, but I think that is highly unlikely. I do think there's a lot of us that really want to see this character and hit him in the face. And this is part 1 of this video. I'm gonna make a part 2 later on. I was intentionally planning to make this video a whole with all of the characters in it, but I found out that if I did that, this video would be way too long, so I'm gonna make it a 2-parter. And do you want to see any of those characters I mentioned in Kingdom Hearts future? If you do, let me know in the comment section down below, and if you don't, still let me know in the comment section down below. I would like to see you guys again next time.